dignitaries to the technical session 2 on the theme Nurturing Research and Innovation Ecosystem. Nurturing a healthy research and innovation ecosystem is very important for the advancement of societies and economics, and for the progress of human knowledge, which nurtures creativity, drives technological advancements, and addresses various complex challenges. By integrating elements like policy and funding support for complex challenges, by integrating elements like policy and funding support for research and innovation and its infrastructure development of students' talent, promoting collaboration between academic and industry, encouraging entrepreneurship, startups, etc., where governments, academia, industries, and communities may collectively nurture a dynamic research and innovation ecosystem which drives towards economic growth, societal development, and technological breakthroughs. Deliberations will be held in the areas like collaborative research, networks, fostering interdisciplinary research, entrepreneurship and innovation, innovative funding models for research, etc., among others.
We would like to invite Professor Nilima Gupta ma'am, Dr. B.J. Rao sir, Professor Raj Singh, and Mr. Rahul Kulasreshta, and Dr. Subhra Datta to take the stage for technical session 2.
Dr. B.J. Rao is on his way, so he will be joining us in some time.
Dr. Subhra Datta, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. We would request now Dr. Jagannath Patnaik, VC, ICFA University Sikkim, and VC of the United Nations Global Compact to kindly come forward to welcome our esteemed guests. Sir. Thank you so much, sir. We take immense pride in the introducing our eminent guest for this session. The session will be chaired by Professor Nilima Gupta, Vice Chancellor Dr. Hari Singh Gaur Vishwavidyalaya Sagar. She holds prestigious responsibilities as a member of the Planning and Monitoring Board of Mahatma Gandhi Central University and President of India's nominee as a member, Executive Council of Central University of Tamil Nadu. Earlier, she served as the Vice Chancellor of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj University, Kanpur. Ma'am is a member of the National Research Center in Cairo, Egypt. She is chairman and member of committees at the University Grants Commission, National Assessment and Accreditation Council, Union Public Service Commission, Council of CSIR and Member Public Service Commission, Uttar Pradesh and Uttaranchal. Ma'am is a recipient of 68 awards, including the Ek Janki Amalal National Award, Saraswati Samman, Vigyan Ratna Awards, to name a few. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your gracious presence today.
The distinguished speakers of this session, I'll be introducing them one by one. Dr. Raj Singh. Dr. Raj Singh is the Vice Chancellor of Jain, deemed to be University, Bangalore. With vast experience in education, he served Amity University, Jaipur, and Gwalior, G.D. Goenka University, Gurgaon, as Vice Chancellor, Amity University, Noida, as Pro Vice Chancellor, Director General of Amity Business School, and Head of ICFI Business School, New Delhi. He is a visiting professor at IIT Delhi, Delhi School of Economics. He has been Vice Chairman of Quality Committee on Education of QCI, Government of India, a member of the first Governing Council of Rajasthan Science Congress. He is the recipient of Exemplary Education Leadership Award in 2012, 2016, and 2017. The Peter Drucker We welcome you, sir.
Mr. Rahul Kulashrestha is working for the Office of the Principal Scientific Advisor to the Government of India as an enabler, which with rich experience in promoting the research and innovation ecosystem at the national and global level by bringing different stakeholders together. Mr. Rahul is also a registered patent agent at the Office of the Controller General of Patents, Designs and Trademarks under the Ministry of Commerce. Earlier, Sir worked at Global Innovation and Technology as Head of Strategic Project Management. He was responsible for joint industrial research and development programs funded by the Government of India with 8 countries, namely Israel, Sweden, Spain, Finland, UK, Italy, Canada, and South Korea. He had also played a catalyst role in many of the national funding programs for technology development by industries sponsored by multiple ministries. Sir, thank you so much for your gracious presence today.
We welcome Dr. Shubhra Datta, Research Consultant, Elsevier. Dr. Datta has diverse work experience in academia and corporate world, ranging from teaching to research, consulting, and strategic business development. She has master's degree in biotechnology from IIT Roorkee and doctorate from Jawaharlal Nehru University, India. Dr. Datta is currently working with Elsevier, helping government bodies, universities in developing strategies to improve our research. We welcome you. Now, I would request ma'am to kindly start the session.
A very good morning to all the speakers who are present here on the dais, and also Dr. Shubhra Datta, who is from Elsevier, all the esteemed Vice Chancellors who are present here from different parts of the country. It's a pleasure for me to chair this first session of the second day of this 98th National Conference of Vice Chancellors. The session today, which we are going to address, is nurturing research and innovation ecosystem. I think when we talk either of NEP 2020, or we talk about Viksit Bharat, or we talk about the theme of this very conference, that is higher education at the rate of 2047, I feel that a research and innovation ecosystem and how it should be nurtured, it occupies a very important place in the scenario. So we have a number of good speakers who will be speaking on this very topic. And if we look into some of the statistics which have been going on in the past, I feel happy that this year's QS rankings, they have placed up on a higher step. Whereas in 2023, IIT Bombay was at a QS rank of 116. It has climbed up to the rank of 95. IIT Delhi, who was at 67, is now at 63. And IIM Ahmedabad, who was at 53, has made a steady rise to the rank of 22. I think that all this has been possible only because of the research outputs of these institutions, which have played a very important role in their development. There has been a 20% improvement in research citations per paper indicator if we look back into the previous statistics, and a 16% growth in international research network, which measures volume and diversity of research partnership. So I think we are at a very good front, but we still have a lot to do. And how we can become the forerunners, how we can reach at the top of the world with our research and innovation activities. I think the contributions of our speakers who are present here, Professor B.J. Rao, who will be joining us in a short while, Professor Raj Singh, who is the Vice Chancellor of Jain University, Mr. Rahul Gulshresht, who is from the Office of the Principal Scientific Advisor, PSA to the Government of India. So people of such caliber are present here to address you. I will request the speakers to kindly restrict your talk to 10 minutes each. And after that, we will have an open discussion with all of you, because I feel that your contributions, your suggestions will go a long way in assisting AIU, for which purpose this very conference has been organized. It is being held at an all India level. I hope and look forward to your active cooperation. With this, I would like to invite Professor Raj Singh, who is the Vice Chancellor of Jain University, for his contributions. Dr. Raj Singh, please.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. Good morning to everyone. Shobha ma'am, who is present this morning, Dr. Ganesh, the Vice Chancellor, Dr. G.D. Sharma, President AIU, Dr. Vinay Pathak, Vice President, Dr. Pankaj Mittal, my fellow Vice Chancellors from different universities across the countries, guests, delegates, ladies and gentlemen, and of course the faculty and students and scholars of ICFA Foundation for Higher Education. At the outset, I thank the organizers for having me here this morning for this amazing conference of AIU 98th sequence. I'm also thankful for triggering the nostalgia in me coming to my alma mater and the first organization I started my academic career in 1994. I'm extremely delighted. I had the fortune of being trained and mentored by the founders of this great organization, Dr. ABC Raj, Dr. Prasanna Chandra sir, and of course, NJ sir. Whenever I think of ICFI, this nostalgia, of course, is natural to develop. Friends, as the chairperson, Madam, mentioned, and of course, many of the co-panelists, distinguished panelists there, will be contributing to the topic of today's panel discussion. We have been showing a tremendous improvement on almost all parameters as far as the research and innovation the country is concerned. We have moved from rank 81 to, I think, 40 in the Global Innovation Index, which is quite a significant jump in last 6 or 7 years. We're number 3 in scientific publications, even though the quality can be questioned. We are 7th or 8th. In terms of number of researchers, we made some headway. Number of PhDs, we made some headway. But I believe, considering the size of the country, we are way behind where we should be. The announcement of National Education Policy in July 2020 both exposed the status of research and also expedited, intensified, and tried to create a facilitating environment as far as the research and innovation ecosystem is concerned. In the 10 minutes assigned to me, I propose to give you my understanding of what research innovation means to me and how we have developed a model at Jain deemed to be university. And then what kind of challenges and pain points I faced, I'm sure you will be able to echo it, you will be able to resonate with this, because each one of you must be facing this day in, day out. And more so in academia, when you want to bring some change, what kind of difficulties we face, I don't have to overemphasize. I made some PowerPoint. Let me take you through this in case it doesn't come. If you look at my first message, it says that if you put fences around people, you get sheeps. And if you give an open environment they need, they will blossom. I think the first message is that we often in academia operate in a very prescriptive manner, which suffocates, which blocks innovation. The agenda I have kept for today's presentation, as I said, I'll give you my brief understanding of it. Understanding the capabilities of people, not only in universities, but around us, including the students, researchers, scholars. I'll talk about a couple of loops which are prevalent in academics and how it necessitates the ecosystem for research and innovation. The integrative model, which I did mention at Jain, we have implemented, and the outcomes till now, we've been doing for the last 2.5 years now. And then training and overcoming the limitations after talking a bit about how to create right kind of conditions. As per the Webster dictionary, it refers to as something new being introduced. Very, very simple definition. It's too simplistic, I know, in the context of universities, but let me move further. Large and diverse groups of people are smarter than an elite few. We often give the responsibility to someone whom we think is elitist, who comes from a background, and they'll drive the research. I'm afraid this is largely failed in the university system, but wherever we have made diverse groups, we have seen some kind of progress. They're also better at solving problems, fostering innovation, coming to wise decisions, and even predicting the future. That's what Cisco said in 2010. And the empirical evidence in this company said that innovative companies grow faster and more profitably than the rest. 11% surplus revenue and 22% EBITDA was shown. Going further, it also talks about open collaboration to be more conducive for research and innovation than strictly defined kind of domains, defined kind of groups, defined kind of loops, which researchers do not seem to appreciate. And therefore, the consensus is that we need to create open collaborations, not strictly defined, not formal, sometimes informal collaborations do much better. In a typical organization or any university, the innovation approach could be revolving around these 4 or 5 major factors. First of them is the strategy. We need to decide and plan the broad goals to be achieved for the university. I've seen that unless we set goals, we cannot know whether we have reached there or not. More formal planning has helped us. I'll be sharing my experiences with you. The culture in the organization, and that basically comes from how people do the things, what are the value system, and of course, what are the ways of working. And you'll be knowing that it becomes more difficult because culture is partly unconscious, unsaid, and silent. You don't even come to know about it. You need to feel it, and that makes it all the more difficult. Capabilities of the people. Skills are often confused with capabilities because you'll find a person, I'm very good at research, but how much you have contributed in terms of significant research? Well, it's not much. So they confuse between skills and competencies, so to say. We need to be very clear about it, and competency mapping has to be done. And finally, of course, very important is structures. You'll agree with me, in last 4 years since NEP was announced, I must have attended 50 conferences, all of you must have attended dozens and maybe more than mine, we all know by now what has to be done. I think today the time has come where we need to sit down and discuss how to do it and what to do it. What to do is largely known, but how to do is more important. And unless we institutionalize the structures and systems, the results are difficult to come by. I laid hands early enough, maybe 2020 end, when I moved to this university, and the discussions were on, the campuses were off, online classes were going on. We sat down to make use of the time to think and reflect how we can work on certain parameters which have been struggling. And I could find this case study done by Harvard Business School, which talked about the Deshpande Foundation, which is largely operating out of Hubli in Karnataka. They've created something called Hubli Sandbox. In Kakatia, they've created Kakatia Sandbox. I think it's in Telangana. And they've created such sandboxes in 4 universities at that time in US, and now the number has gone up. It's a very, very interesting read for me. And the message it said, Deshpande, the founder of this, I quote from the case, they said, we never know what kind of idea will work and what will not. Ideas that seem great fail, and ideas that seem bad succeed. But we can predict with some certainty what sort of people will succeed, even if it takes them several efforts. I think the focus is on the people and not so much on ideas. Sometimes if a right kind of people, they may make even seemingly bad idea to succeed and succeed significantly. People at the bottom of pyramid have entrepreneurial spirit, and that's what they've proven through the Hubli Sandbox, where they've helped thousands and thousands of youngsters from rural areas to turn small entrepreneurs and earn livelihood and generate jobs for others. A very, very successful model. Of course, they had their own share of difficulties to begin with. This case study highlights them very well. Friends, there are 2 types of loops we talk about in academics. One is academic loop, and the second one is innovation loop. Academic loop, of course, we've been talking about, we learned as students. The innovation loop I developed after listening to Dr. R.A. Mashelkar, one of the greatest scientists we have had. The academic loop says that whatever research we undertake in academic institution, we go and test it in the companies and the industry or the client organizations through consultancy, which leads to training, sometimes start with training and leads to consultancy. And the enrichment we get, the testing of a research idea which happens there is brought back to the classroom, and quality of teaching in general goes up. That's the importance of research, training, consulting in quality institutions as far as teaching is concerned. The innovation loop, Dr. Mashelkar says that research is what converts data and information into knowledge and consumes money and keeps on consuming money. Whatever research you take, keep on consuming. There's no end to it. And we always keep crying foul that there's no money available, there's no source available there. He says you keep on doing it for next 50 years, you'll keep on consuming and funds will never be sufficient. And he says, if you can have a way of converting this knowledge back into money, this loop has to be completed and you will never be short of funds as a country, as a nation. And this conversion of knowledge back into money takes to innovation. When we start using research to find problems to real life solutions of industry, community, and the society, and generate money, look at the commercial value, which we as teachers often shy away from accepting. Money is not a hated word. Once we need resources, we should develop a system of internally generating those funds. And he says, if you can complete this loop, it will keep on churning out more and more research and contributing to the society, industry, and the community. And the very purpose of us being here as researchers will be better served. Coming to the Jain model, I take a couple of minutes on explaining this. We were struggling also to find out the method of implementing national education policy. We are fortunate to be located in the city of Bangalore, where Dr. Kasturirangan comes from. We have gotten words of praise from him for this model because he says that so many recommendations of NEP could be implemented through one model is amazing. He had a lot of appreciation for this, even though we took almost 1 year in developing this, then we got it copyrighted to test its novelty. And then, of course, extensive training of faculty members started. Documentation started, concept note were prepared. And we have done alpha and beta testing already, and both have been hugely successful. From 1st July this year, we're implementing on full scale for all the students. I'll share with you some of the results of alpha and beta testing. So what we did, we created this transdisciplinary project-centric learning. Friends, project-centric learning is a little different from project-based learning. We often confuse with this, even NEP talks about it. In project-based learning, we are restricted to the subject or the course. The project relates to, let's say, marketing management or physics or chemistry. In case of project-centric learning, the topic of project becomes central to all the courses being taught. So let's say about 7 to 8 courses, they all will support the project idea. And therefore, by definition, the topics have to be transdisciplinary. Topics have to be very close to real life. Today in our university, 4,600 groups of 5 students each, mixing students from different domains, are working on as many number of ideas. And these projects could continue from one semester to almost end of 4th year, depending on the length of the program. Some do drop it in between because sometimes they find the idea is not feasible. Mandate is very, very clear. At the end of the semester or the year, students have come out with one of the 4 outcomes. One, either a working model or a patentable idea, a startup if possible, is so soon, but many come for the startup ideas at least a couple of years later. And the minimum expectation is a good quality publication. And the publication, the first semester starts from writing a blog, writing a LinkedIn post, writing on the wall magazine, anything which makes them initiated into research. And we find that gradually they start writing articles and also quality papers. Initiating students into research has been one of the main objectives of this. To share with you some of the outcomes of 2022,
Professor Jain, please wind up.
23.
Your time
Is
over,
that
please.
524 papers, publications, copyrights, and trademarks have been published only by the students, thanks to the work going on this. Beta testing, 100 students have earned 22.93 lakhs, anywhere between 17,000 to 37,000. It's also aimed at earning by all the students while they learn. We believe that students can earn their fees. Ma'am, I'll take 2 minutes and wind up. It's been a very successful model for us. Apart from the fact that it's higher order learning outcome, it helps us achieve, it makes local appeal, it helps us achieve higher order learning outcomes, and the output of the university increases, largely contributed by the students and the faculty members together. My appeal to, in terms of enabling environment, that sometimes if you do not have these creative collisions, you need to create it. And then once the collision takes place, there are some threads, you can hear it. Idea is to take feedback from everyone and work upon it. Take 1 step back, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 2 steps forward. You can imagine how difficult it must have been for me. People even said, even though it was copyrighted in 2021, they said this model is very old, 1963. You know why they said 1963? Because I was born in 1964. So they said before you were born. Now there's no point in criticizing this. Idea is to push, idea is to train, and then see that it sees the light of the day. I think I'll end with in terms of creating environment, this famous quote from the famous ancient saint from South India, Patanjali. And he says, if you can create this vision in the minds of the colleagues and the people who you work with, when you're inspired by some great purpose, some extraordinary project, all your thoughts break in bounds, your mind transcends limitations, your consciousness expands in every direction, and you find yourself in a new, great, and wonderful world. Dominant forces, faculties, and talents come alive, and you discover yourself to be a greater person than what you ever dreamt of being. Now, beautiful quote. We need to respect the past, but don't revere it. Don't stick to this. Sometimes you have to trash the past, even though great it must have been in those times. We have to look forward. We have to see that where we are going, and the only and only mantra is training, training, and training. I got this beautiful quote from the Navy SEALs, very, very old quote, 1940s, almost Second World War. They said, when the time comes, you don't rise to the occasion. You fall to the level of your training. That's the importance of training we need to understand. You'll agree with me, friends, that after the NEP, everybody is equal. Old education system is completely over. If we stick to that, we will not be able to move forward. And therefore, think of starting afresh. It's not a choice of whether to implement NEP or not, to bring research innovation or not. It's a question of when and how fast we do it. I'll take any questions are there as the discussion goes on. Thank you so much, ma'am.
for your very illustrious talk on innovation, especially how to understand it and how we can go ahead to promote innovation in the country. I think we can have the questions later on in the end. Maybe I can request Mr. Rahul Kulshrestha, who is from the Office of the Principal Scientific Advisor to the Government of India. Mr. Kulshrestha, please.
Can I have the screen? Hi, good morning. It was a great presentation, Dr. Singh, and where he was speaking about the loop between the academic and how we can convert into an innovative loop. And I feel when we are focusing on translation from lab to market, the role of industry collaboration is very important. And I'm going to present a platform which will be talking about how researchers and the innovators in the country basically work with industries, foundations, philanthropists, central and the state government. So I'm representing Principal Scientific Advisor to the Government of India, which basically the role of this office is to provide pragmatic advice for science and technology and innovation for the country to Prime Minister and the Cabinet. It comes under the Cabinet Secretariat and the Prime Minister Office. And we have three divisions here. Majorly, one is PM STIAC, which is Prime Minister Science and Technology Innovation Advisory Council, which work on national missions. And you keep on hearing multiple missions like green hydrogen, semiconductor, quantum mission. And recently, National Research Foundation has been announced in the parliament. It has been approved in the parliament also. And where the Prime Minister himself is the president and the chairman of the Executive Council is the Principal Scientific Advisor, Professor Ajay Sood. This office, just to make you aware, Dr. Abdul Kalam was the first Principal Scientific Advisor. And right now we have fourth PSA, which is Professor Ajay, who is Professor Ajay Sood. The second division, which I was talking about, is the Empowered Technology Group, which work with all line ministries as advisory and on the futuristic technology. And the third division, which I represent here, is the Strategic Alliance Division. And as the name suggests, our role is to make alliances, to facilitate collaborations between two sides. One is the demand side, the people who can provide opportunities, who can provide problem statements, who can provide or who are looking for innovative solutions. So they are the demand side, like industries, foundations, philanthropists, central state government, international stakeholders, global foundations. And they come out with different kind of opportunities for research and innovation. And then we have a supply side, which includes Pan-India Research Institutes. So Manthan has registration from more than 5,000 research institutes. So many lakhs of researchers are already there and 90,000 plus startups. And we are focusing on three areas. One is sustainable development goal. So all SDGs you will find here. Second is the emerging technologies. We have identified 2021 emerging technologies like AI, ML, quantum, green hydrogen, semiconductor, life sciences, space tech. So that I will also show. And the third is the social impact technology, because it's very important for the research and innovation ecosystem to impact the society. So we also facilitate CSR funds through industries under the clause 9 of Schedule 7, where it can support projects related to research and development aligned to the Sustainable Development Goal or to the incubators also. So we started this division. It's not a very old division. During the time of COVID, when we started looking for different kind of solutions from academic institutions and startups, which can help us to fight pandemic. And we got a lot of technologies which was lying inside the silos. And then we thought, okay, how to fund these technologies? And we started taking it to the industries and foundations. We were able to commercialize 60 plus technologies that time. With the help of industries, more than 1,800 crores were raised and funded by industries and foundations to research and innovation. We got MyLab as one of the garage startups, and which, you know, it is the first self-testing kit, and they had just written to us. We have helped them to incubate in NCL Pune, brought them a lot of support, and that's how we got the first self-testing kit during the COVID. We had set up 500 plus hospitals with the help of a startup technology in IIT Madras, just a spin-off from lab to the market. It's a modular extension, and in 18 states within 3 months, we were able to set up all these hospitals. We were able to indigenize reagents which were required for the testing. We were importing from South Korea initially, and we were getting a lot of faulty cases. And with the help of research institutions, we indigenized here, and we started exporting them to the African continent. So that's how we realized there is a lot of traction happening between the researchers and the innovator communities and the industries and foundation. And we don't wanted to miss that traction. And because we were a very small team in this office that time, we realized we should not be a bottleneck for all this opportunity to come. And we came out with a platform called as Manthan. It was launched on 15th August 2022 by Principal Scientific Advisor. And as you can, I will take you through the platform very quickly because it's a very detailed and comprehensive platform. And maybe in future, AIU, Dr. Mittal is there. We can arrange an online demo for all the research universities so that we can have a detailed demo. So this is a navigation video. And if you go down, the platform has already received 2 very prestigious awards, Dun & Bradstreet Awards. And the second one is World Government. So it has been showcased or selected amongst the top 8 innovations from the world used by government. And recently at Dubai World Government Summit, this has been presented to 25 Prime Minister and President of the world. So that is the scale-up level it has happened. Kavita, can you just come down? So you can see all the success stories. Already more than 300 success stories are there on the platform. Who has got awards, which are the opportunities. You can see here. Come down. This is a dashboard. In last 1.5 years, we were able to source 6,897 crores. More than 600 opportunities. You can see 692 opportunities. 344 success stories are already there. Come down. This is an industry rolling opportunity. So many industries who has a continuous opportunity, like 100 group of Tata companies, they said we have multiple opportunities. So they have actually integrated their platform with Manthan. And that's how you can actually go to their opportunities, which is continuously open for the research and innovation also. Then you can see the KPMG is a market research provider. They provide a lot of market research report on the platform, which help researchers and the innovators to find the gaps into the market related to the emerging technologies. These are the opportunity providers, and you will find everyone from international, Indian, everyone logo, including XPRIZE Foundation, which is funded by Elon Musk. So we have more than 7-8 problem statement on the platform, which is coming from the Elon Musk Foundation also. And you will find all the names. These are the opportunity providers in last 1.5 years. You will have JICA from Japan. You will have Microsoft. You will have Kotak. You will have everyone you will find. And it's a very big list, more than 400 plus opportunity providers. They are continuously coming, giving multiple opportunities on the platform. This platform is crowd-funded by industry initially. So it's a zero budget platform from the government. And you can see Mr. Lakshmi Narayan Act grant and the Amazon has funded this, the development. And then it has been taken over by Office of PSA right now. We have an outreach partner. So we also help to disseminate science and technologies, researchers and the innovators through our, like Amazon, Netflix. I will be speaking about all these outreach partners also. We have benchmarked this platform. Before making this platform, more than 10 plus platform has been benchmarked so that we are not repeating our efforts. Coming to the opportunity section, this is for the demand side. And you can see, like any industry foundation demand side, they come and we have a template. If they are looking for early stage innovations, which are at low TRL level, they can actually fill those template. Industry market ready innovations, which is generally coming from the startups, or even from the research institutes, implementation projects where they are looking for implementing partners from research institutes. And like Toyota has recently launched a call, they are looking for implementing partners for their open innovation. So if you are interested or you have an incubator system, you can do it. Center of Excellence, we had set up 15 Center of Excellence in last 1 year in research institute funded by industries foundations majorly. Either on global sanitation technology in IIT Palakkad, funded by Gates Foundation, SDFC Bank, IRM Scientific, on clean affordable energy in IIT Dharwad, funded by Honeywell, Infineon, Shelco Foundation. TERI, we have a circular economy center of excellence funded by ICSA, air pollution related center of excellence in IIT Delhi and IIT Kanpur, funded by Bloomberg. So we have 15 center of excellence, which is also having a strategic approach, which has 4 pillars. One is like pre-incubation pillar, where we identify all the ideas related to the thematic area. We shortlist idea along with the researchers. They incubate cohort of startups in pillar 2, which is incubation. They work on demo skill technologies. Third is testing validation, and fourth is scaling up to the market. Support in livelihood and developing micro entrepreneurs. So that's how most 4 models on pillars on which Center of Excellence work. We get a lot of internship scholarship opportunity from national and international, and in-kind opportunities where industries are providing. So go to the opportunity section. So you can see all the opportunities here, and you can see the eligibility right now, 28 opportunities from different, you can see BEAR, you can have, and a lot of sectors, SDG wise, focus area, you will find all the opportunities there from industries and foundations here. We have a classified section also. So many industry come to us which who have confidential R&D. So they can actually do all this thing through the classified section where they will directly reach out to the researchers. Information will not be into the public domain. We have different segments here, and you can see like governments, and you can see government, under government, all central government. So we have opportunity from more than 25 central ministries and state governments where your researchers can apply, and all many of them are open, and you can see all PSUs, startups, state startup missions, and like telecom ministry, MNRE, power ministry, in space. So all this opportunity you can see in this set. Then next section is international section, where you get like Gates Foundation, Rockefeller Foundation, international governments. So all MNCs, you will find their opportunity in the international sections, where they're looking for partnership with research and the innovation ecosystem. And more than, I think, 80 plus opportunities are there on the platform. Maybe the Wi-Fi is slow. And the third section focus is the women in STEM, because we are focusing a lot by recognizing women. And you can see we have recognized with British High Commission, UN women, 75 women in chemistry with Royal Society of Chemistry, and we have women entrepreneurs. We are doing a lot of programs which are funded by industry to support underprivileged girl students from Tier 2, Tier 3 city to continue their career in STEM, providing scholarship, internships. So all of that you will find. And then we have a school innovation also, where industry wanted to support digitalization, or like the girl students developing satellite with the help of Space Foundation. So a lot of opportunities in the school innovation also. So till now, this is for the industries, demand side. Then we have a section for supply side, like research and innovation, how you can showcase your research work where you are looking for funding. So we have categorized or stacked all the proposals according to the SDGs. So you can actually open like climate change. And if you have an interest in climate change, you can see all the opportunities related to the climate change. And then you have the reports from KPMG. Then these are the proposals from different research institutes and startups, which are looking for funding from industries and foundation. And whenever any industry come to us, we just, based on their interest area, we just provide those proposals to them also. Then we have an emerging technology section. And sorry, there is a subject
Recording
matter
in
expert. So
progress.
many of you are subject matter experts in different field. You can register yourself as a subject matter expert so that industry can reach out to you or the startups can reach out to you and for evaluations, jury, or different mentoring. So you can actually register yourself as a subject matter experts from the universities. Then similarly, we have a showcase of emerging technologies. As I said, we have identified multiple emerging technologies, and similar to the SDGs, you can see AI/ML section here, where you can find opportunities, and you can see some logos are there. So many of stakeholders who has an interest in those areas, like this is Telangana government emerging technology department, and we wanted to hold this section as a section owner and bring a lot of opportunities related to AI/ML on this platform. So they are owning this section also. So that's how we are giving multiple sections to different industries and foundations. Then we have exhibitions. So whenever industry posts any challenges here and they get multiple proposals, they can actually call for an online exhibition also. And then coming to the event section, apart from the open platform for event, as I said, we have multiple outreach partners. So you can see, like recently we have launched a series reality show with Amazon Prime, which was launched by Principal Scientific Advisor in the Alia Bhatt recently. And you can see that at Amazon Prime, where we have provided them 1,500 researchers and innovators and startup founders from Tier 2 cities, because our focus is on Tier 2 more. And they have selected 10 founders, and show has been made and they got an investment. Netflix is working on films on climate innovation and different. So recently 11 researchers or innovators has been selected and they're making films. With Jaipur Literature Festivals, we are basically having a series called as Be Inspired Science series, where we are calling all the different researchers and innovators, not only from India, global researchers also coming and showcasing and talking about their work. Very creative way. Jaipur Literature Festival is known for their creative way. And then we have Sunset TV, which is making episodes on the success stories from the platform and showcasing in our parliament also during the break hours, and on Sunset TV also. Daily Hunt taking all our success stories and project opportunities to researchers through their channel. And then we have a lot of projects in science communication. So this is about platform. And very important, only last thing, you have a very simple registration process. Everything is free. You have to just register here as an institute, and anyone can, means number of researchers, there is no limitations on number of researchers, most of them, and you have to specify your fields so that specific fields kind of opportunities are coming to you. So this is about Manthan platform, and I would urge all of you to come forward and join this platform and utilize the opportunities which we are getting on the platform. Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Kulshesh, for very beautifully telling us about the platform, and I think many of the universities will be benefited. With this, I now request Dr. Shipra Datta for her presentation by Elsevier on research intelligence. Within 10 minutes, please.
Honorable Chair, Professor Gupta, my fellow speakers, Professor Raj, Mr. Rahul, Professor Pankaj Mittal, Professor Sancheti, and all the honorable dignitaries over here. Very good morning to all of you and greetings from Elsevier. Today, I'm here to represent Elsevier, which is the leading scientific publishing company, and now it is transforming into an information analytics. Today, we will be talking about research intelligence view from the top. We have already heard my fellow speakers. They talked about the loop in research innovation, how you maintain or develop that ecosystem at your universities. And then from Mr. Rahul about how they are providing the platform to connect with the industry, to have that interface with the industry, to take the innovation to the next level. And that's where I think today my presentation will help you bridge in the gap between the ecosystem that you are developing and the interface that you're trying to reach with the industry. That is, developing your talent, identifying the right talent to nurture it, and of course, showcasing your ability and mapping it rightly with what the industry or the other partners or collaborators of innovative projects need. Yes. Thank you so much. So last year, Elsevier with the group Ipsos, we conducted multiple surveys across the globe with the top academicians like vice chancellors, directors, funders across the globe about the challenges that they are seeing in the coming years. And what we see that after COVID, a lot of things have changed. New technologies are coming up. AI is at the front, leading all, I would say, scientific developments. And of course, then there are issues related to political uncertainty, climate change, funding, of course. So everything is kind of interrelated. So we came up with these key findings from the academic leaders, what they see as challenge in the coming couple of years. And the common message that we find is most of them said that they are facing issue. Oh, is the laser working? Okay, I think the pointer is not working. Anyways, so the principal, okay, let's go back. The principal challenge that they see is in continuing with research, maintaining the excellence in research. Funding is a key criteria. Demonstrating the societal impact of the research that you are doing. No longer it can be left unanswerable. And then maintaining and nurturing the talent, gaining talent to develop this whole ecosystem. So for this, we feel the strategy to execution for the universities could be looking at the overall research integrity, monitoring the institutional performance, and of course, based on that, you would be able to tighten your nuts and bolts and get your strategy in place. Research integrity, I'll lightly touch upon it. So publishing ethics has undergone a big change recently. And I would say you all are pretty aware of what the challenges are. And it should be a shared responsibility between the entire publishing ecosystem, including the researchers, the faculty driving it, the journals publishing it, the indexing databases, etc. So everything needs to work together on this, and that's where Elsevier is committed to it. So we see threats to research integrity right from when we are conducting the research to when we are writing, to submission to the journal, and of course, finally, when it goes to peer review and publication. So Elsevier, as a, okay, is it working? So technologically, we are becoming very advanced, but sometimes we are stuck with basic stuff. From that side? Okay, yeah, thanks. So we can safely land at Chandrayaan to moon, but our Bluetooth connectivity distance still remains a challenge, right? So that's why I'm here on the other side of the stage now. Okay, so we see the challenge in the entire pathway when we talk about, thank you, developing the research, publishing it, disseminating it. And upholding the research integrity is the key thing we should start off with at the universities. So Elsevier's strategy from our end is to build that confidence in the entire system.
We are looking at building expertise and optimizing collaboration, as in having clear policies, what is correct, what is not, a specialist team who will delve into it, figure out what's going wrong, data and technology to assist that, what are the challenges, and you pick those issues beforehand, and then keeping the trust in science through education and awareness. But as I said, it is a shared responsibility, and we need to go together in that. So there are multiple investigative platforms that Elsevier is using to look out for the signals which tend to reflect or indicate there could be some issue or compromise to the research integrity. And we can discuss this later if you are interested. But currently, I'm sure all of you know much about it as well. Can we just move forward, go the manual way probably, or maybe the battery is not working? Can we change the slide? It's changing. Okay. So research integrity, we said, was one of the key things that the university should strive at. And second is, of course, we have shifted. Okay. And second thing is, of course, having an overview of the institutional performance. Where are we? What are our strengths? Where are we heading towards, right? And globally, all the universities are developing dashboard to overview the performance of their institution. So over here, I've just given you two examples, one from RMIT, Australia, one from Yonsei University, Korea. So how they have developed various dashboards wherein they define even the research priority areas and their strength areas. And this is how one of the interesting case studies of University of Surrey, where they identified that it is in the medical subject that they are leading and they are experts. So they try to showcase and then connect with industry on those topics. You can also connect your research impact in terms of sustainable development goals, that is SDGs, as to what you are doing. It's one of the examples I have taken of SDG 11. In which areas are you working on? How much are you publishing in this area? Who are your top authors in that area? You could do that. SDGs, we have already heard from Mr. Rahul's presentation, is one of the key focus, not only for the government of India, but we are looking at world over, not only the governments, the funders, even the rankings are having a special focus on impact connected with sustainable development. And we have another case study of the National Research Foundation of Korea, how they are looking at the ongoing new technologies coming up, research going on in sustainable development, and how they are coming up with programs related to these research and funding them for the universities and connecting them with industry. Okay, so I will just skip to something very interesting. I'll skip. Okay, so over here, what I did, I took, so ma'am, I would need just 5 minutes because there was some disruption. I hope you'll allow me that. Okay, great. 5 minutes. So what I did was do an analysis of few of the universities based off Hyderabad. So we have University of Hyderabad, IIT Hyderabad, Triple IIT Hyderabad, NIPER Hyderabad, a CSIR lab, and then we have ICFI Business School, right? So we compared them on their scholarly output. That's the main thing what NAC, NIRF, everybody is doing. Over here, we can see the top two line is IIT Hyderabad and University of Hyderabad. Understandable, bigger institutes, older institutes, much more publication. But publication or the quantitative metric, should that be the only one we should be looking at? No. And that's where H-index comes into picture. But H-index also has a problem, is that older institutes like University of Hyderabad, when we look at its H-index, ICFI can never compare to that, isn't it? So better is to look at a 5-year H5 index, wherein we are looking only at last 5-year data. So basically, we are looking at the current development going on in these universities. But then again, it is not a very equitable comparison, because let's say ICFI is focused on business, University of Hyderabad is working in all sectors, IIT is mainly from the engineering perspective. So if I do H index now only from subject category, I looked at business management. Now ICFI in blue, so over there ICFI was at the bottom, now ICFI is at the top. And that's why subject rankings or subject analysis makes more sense. But when we are at the national level, let's say university rankings we are doing, subject analysis cannot be done for every university. ICFI, we know business management, it is fine. But for University of Hyderabad, their focus, and University of Delhi, their focus and strength areas will be different. So then what could be the metric we can compare at? That's field weighted citation index, which takes care of subject variation, time variation, very, very important, wherein you can put everything together on one platform and then compare. And this is a global comparison that we are doing now. So now you see the graph has shifted very much compared to the first publication graph that we were seeing, isn't it? And thank you so much. So we do have a lot of information. I'm sorry, we didn't have time to discuss more. I have just put up a QR code. If you would like to know more about this data, have this presentation or discuss with us more, you can connect with us through this QR code. So thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am.
Professor Rao has joined. I'll just request for a brief introduction, and then Professor Rao, you'll be invited. 8 minutes, sir. Okay, thank you.
Good morning to all of you. I'm profusely sorry that I reached here late. My internal compass misdirected me. But anyway, here I am. So I think I just want to very crisply point out a few pointers in this area of, in this large area of research and innovation, how to nurture them. I think this is the bigger topic. This is a very relevant topic for our times now. As we are climbing up the ladder, these two issues will keep coming back to us as we progress further. Now, research and innovation are deeply intertwined. Unless you do deep research, you will not be in a discovery mode. We have not been in discovery mode for several decades now. So unless our research profile depth reaches higher levels, we will not be able to discover newer things in many, many realms of our societal life. So research, of course, is the fulcrum. And then, of course, innovation. Innovation is a very different beast. In real world, innovation is not done by people who are highly knowledgeable, highly bright. Innovation is done by people who are buzzed about innovation, who are passionate about innovating new things. It's about people. It's not really about knowledge content. It is not really about how bright spark you are. This is the best hidden secret in the system. If you really want to make innovators, you need to ignite the passion in them to innovate new things. So innovators come in different forms and shapes. All of them have a common thread to go and innovate things which nobody else has done. This is the deep desire in them. Now, the elephant in the room is, how do we create innovators in a system, in an ecosystem? This is a very important question and also very difficult question to answer. Now we are new players in this entrance, in this game plan. Now we are trying to handhold the people, handhold the stakeholders towards initial parts of innovation where you can do startups, you can do new, business activities, and the ecosystem is getting aligned with these activities. But this is just the beginning. If you really want innovators of the Bill Gates types, of the high level who hit high stars, our system has to mature a lot. And in this, I think university ecosystem has a very, very important role to play. A role where teachers have to ignite minds towards innovation, not just simply the content, not simply the skills, not simply the certificates, not simply the grades. We still have to discover new methods of reaching minds so that they become ambitious. We don't see too many ambitious students in our ecosystems. How do we create such people? How do we create such minds? Is there a methodology for it? These are very difficult questions to answer. The only methodology that I am aware of is a teacher, a mentor, a successful entrepreneur should handhold the mind, not the person, and talk about the feasibilities, talk about the opportunities, talk about the difficult problems, talk about the interesting problems to these minds. So it's a different type of education. It is not a curriculum-based education. That type of dialogue we have to begin in our ecosystems. All of us have to do it. Importantly, the teachers have to get very intimately involved in these processes where we actually do a dialogue with young minds. Once we do that, I think a few percentage of students, maybe a small number, will get ignited about certain directions, certain areas, and they will learn more about it on their own. That process has to begin. The student has to learn on his own or on her own. And teachers have to keep learning and relearning so that teachers and student ecosystem develops. It's a different ecosystem. If we do that kind of ecosystem, which is prevalent in successful Western universities, it is prevalent, it is possible to do it. I think we will ignite a small percentage of learners, not students, learners, who will look at certain goalposts which others have not looked at. This process has to begin not in the classrooms, but outside the classrooms, where you do intimate dialogues. You do dialogues where the teacher and the taught are intertwined with each other to look at some bright future, some problems, some solutions, and some ways of cracking those problems. This is the beginning of an innovation. So you can see there is a seamless transition from education and learning to innovation. A seamless transition has to be there in our ecosystems. Then, of course, once the student gets awakened towards doing new things, innovative things, big things, the journey for the student begins. Perhaps the role of the teacher sort of fades away from that point onwards. So this kind of a fundamental model, we have to do it. There is no single recipe here. We all have to do it in our own manner. If we do this in different realms of education system, I am sure in the years to come, maybe 3, 4, 5, 6% of students get hooked on to some brilliant ideas, and then they will march on. Once the student awakens that I have to solve this problem, I have to do this innovative thing, the student is pretty much on his or on her own. The real question is, how do we prepare the minds of the youngsters to that level of maturity, to that level of ambition, to that level of spark? In earlier times, we used to have such teachers, very committed, very loving teachers who used to handhold you and show the sun there. Those teachers we have to generate. In fact, there is a serious deficiency of such students in this day and era of high technology. In innovation, sometimes technology comes in the way. We must be able to discern that. So I don't want to talk too many things. I just wanted to give some crisp points. There are good successful models in classic universities of the West. We may want to ameliorate those, and then we want to add our own models of Chintan Manan in our system and prepare those minds. These students do not come in very attractive forms. Please realize, these students may be very, very introverted. These students may be unable to speak in good English language. These students may be backbenchers sometimes. We must identify them. This is the challenge. Generally, front benchers generally care for themselves. They are very bright. They get good grades. They go to high-flying universities, but they may not be innovative. Please realize, innovative students are generally escapable. They escape our attention. So we really need sensitive and very attentive, very committed teachers, mentors in our system. Only then innovation can begin. Otherwise, we will set up large enterprises where we just do copycat activities. True innovation in the country may or may not begin in that model. If you really want to change the model, we really have to go to grassroots level of doing things very differently. This is not happening in the country as much as it should be. There are too many barriers. We have to really undo these barriers. There are too many barriers. I don't want to elaborate it. Because of too many barriers in the societal system, we are really not able to unmask the talent, unmask the genius, unmask the inventive minds. So therefore, we really have to redo ourselves as teachers. And that will have very serious dividends for the country in the years to come, and perhaps for the world in the years to come. I just made 2-3 very important points, which I'm very, very buzzed about. Let us not do a conventional inventive system. We have to do India-centric. We have to do globally competitive. We have to do a discovery mode innovation in our country, not the imitation mode innovation, which is happening at a large scale right now. But that's okay. That's a good beginning. At some point, the global knowledge must be generated here, which we were several centuries ago. That transition has to be brought about, and we have tremendous responsibility in bringing about that transition. I don't want to say too many more points. I think this point is very, very important for me. And thank you very much for this small time that I got. But I also am very apologetic that I came very late. But I am here and we can interact. Thank you very much. Namaste.
Thank you very much, Professor Rao. It was indeed a very crisp talk, and as usual, you have been extempore and bringing out very valid points regarding research and innovation. So we had a few speakers whom you have heard, but before summing up, I will just request you for the questions. I have some questions from a few vice chancellors, which we'll take up first of all. The first one is from Professor G. Damodar, who is from Chaitanya deemed to be university. He has raised certain points. The first one is in unicorns, we are in the third position with 111, USA with 668 and China with 172. So we stand third as of October 3, 2023. So he requests for tax exemption for these. So I think it can be taken up as a proposal from AIU for tax exemption. It is not actually in the hands of AIU, but it can be taken up. The second point which he has raised is encouraging collaborative research projects between academia and industry can drive innovation and address industry challenge. So we can have a little bit of discussion on this. Any of the co-panelists who would like to take up? Or yeah. Professor Rao.
This is a very old topic that industry and academia are not meeting close enough. They talk from at a distance with some suspicion. A very old story. When an industrial setup asks the vice chancellor, can you prepare students for my X, Y, Z, A, B, C activities? My answer is, we do not prepare students for X, Y, Z, ABC activities. We prepare minds who can innovate inside them and can solve all these problems. We do not prepare straight-jacketed minds for A problem or B problem. Universities are large ecosystems. They should train the minds for ab initio thinking, for original thinking, for analytical thinking, so that in the real world, they can go and solve any problem, A or B or C, whatever. So this is the real answer. And then the student will be intelligent enough to adapt to the problem at hand and solve it. That is the level of robust ecosystem we have to create. And I think now the journey has begun in our Indian university systems, where we are training students in a robust manner, where there is experiential learning, there is the value for outcome-based education. First time happening in the country after 70 years. Nobody taught us outcome-based education. Nobody told us experiential learning. These are the new attributes we are bringing into the university system, because of which we expect there will be robust minds coming up. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Professor Rao. Yeah, please.
I think we all have been saying how it can be done. I can share again some experiences. The projects I mentioned where student groups actively work with the industry. In fact, real life problems can be identified in consultation with the industry. Whenever we go there, one question is normally asked, that how sure you are that you deliver on the solutions for the industry. They are willing to share problems with us. I think it's a mutual trust deficit we have to build between the industry and the academia. And that can be done through quality research, which is cited. When you go to industry with that research background, I think they're willing to work with you. They're willing to fund you. Till then, I think this question mark remains. We also tried this through work integrated education. BBA, BCom, BCA, 1,680 students in last 1 year have been working with industry. So we hold classes 4.5 hours and half day they work, getting stipend anywhere between 5,000 to 40,000. And this has been going year after year. About 50% of them get job offers permanently with those companies. They work for 3 years and then they get the job offers. The various things you can try. Idea is that industry should see what the students are capable of doing. Only talks, they're not willing to believe us, in fact. And therefore, create those project topics where industry and academia can work together, and tell your students to work with them. And when they find solutions, I think we'll be able to do what we are trying to do. We'll get more funding. In any case, industry funding is almost absent in India. Most it comes from the government. We need to increase this percentage by working closely with them. It's working out, in fact. Yeah.
I feel that this type of the concern here of the university is that how we can have a more intricate system of collaboration between the universities and the industry. With NEP 2020 on the annual, and we are trying to adopt it, I think that many of the universities now, they are trying to approach the industry. But it often happens that the universities, they are not getting an equal response from the university industry. So we have to find out a way, and many of the universities, they are having MOUs with the industry. Many of the universities, they are sending their students for training in the industries. So, and on the other hand, the industries, they are also trying to involve the students. I have also seen, and I would appreciate the efforts of some of the private universities, where they have come, they have brought the industries to their campus. And these industries, they come to the campus, the industries, they need manpower to train. And the universities, they need some type of training. So if this type of system could develop for other universities also, I feel that this concern, which is, I think in many of the universities, the vice chancellors are thinking as to how we can have this collaboration more intricate, we can move ahead in this direction. The third point which he has raised is government funding and grants can support the above initiatives. Well, government funding and grants, I must say that there are a large number of grants which are being given by the government agencies, both national and international. If you go to the website, you can find out how many national government organizations, how much they are funding. It may be UGC, it may be ICT, it may be INSA, it may be ICMR, it may be ICR. You can go, umpteen of the projects are available. Similarly, for international grants, umpteen of the projects are available, and sometimes there are no takers. The fund is there, and at the closing of the year, these organizations, they simply try to disperse this grant. So let us also become a little bit more aware and try to generate, because I see that in many of the conferences, this point is always raised, that how to get more funds. And then I would also suggest that we can become self-reliant also. Those universities which are having good research facilities, they can offer these facilities to other universities also, like we are doing in our university. And through that, you can generate a lot of funds. You can organize workshops also. And in this way, this training can also be provided, and we can also generate funds for that. And it's not necessary that we have all the research facilities in our university. No university can boast of having all the research facility. So it is up to us to develop these collaborative programs, collaboration with other universities. And I think that would be a better way to proceed ahead in this direction. We have another question from Rajasthan Technical University, Kota, raised by Professor S.K. Singh, who is the Vice Chancellor. He suggests that AIU should assist various universities and institutions for networking among them regarding research and innovation. So I think AIU is doing that. Dr. Pankaj Mittal, would you like to say a few words on that? माइक एक दे दीजिए मैडम को.
So thanks for that question. One project which we are taking up with CII is, we call it 100-100 project. 100-100 means 100 industries to collaborate with 100 universities. So CII is in the process of identifying 100 industries. So we have told them that give us the list of the industries along with the region. So accordingly, we will give you the list of the 100 universities which can collaborate. So slowly, this 100 will go to 500, 1,000, 1,000. So this is just a beginning we are trying to do. So as soon as it materializes, you will get a letter from AIU asking you whether you are wanting to collaborate in this particular area or not. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Pankaj Mittal. We appreciate the efforts of AIU in this direction. And the second, I think it is, we all agree that we should have an ecosystem, and it is up to us, the Vice Chancellors and the entire administration, researchers, teachers, who can create this type of environment. The next question is from Professor S.H. Jagannath Shetty from Haveri University from Karnataka. He suggests that do we convert our research as classroom subject, evaluate and give marks to it, evaluation, certification? In other words, how much are we involved in this process? Professor Jagannath Shetty, are you here? I think he's not here. Well, oh yes, please. Can you just elaborate what you would like to say for this? That we convert our research into a classroom subject. So we already have now, as per the UGC mandate, we already have 6 months of this coursework where we are evaluating, we give a sort of training. And I think what you refer is that when we are doing research, how it should be evaluated.
Yeah,
Yes.
hello.
Can you be more specific?
Yeah, I would like to just elaborate on this. Universities, most of us focus on our core research. Core research, we complete it maybe at the early age, and then we start guiding. But many a times it is found that this research doesn't go as a classroom subject. I mean, a textbook on that. We continue to teach the older subjects which are there as part of the textbooks which prescribe. But I am feeling that our research also should be taught inside of the classroom, where it gets multiplied into different ways. Many projects can be done on that. So this aspect has to be done inside the classroom, both at undergraduate as well as postgraduate, rather than taking out only the research part of that and then guide separately. This was just a concern, and I have experimented this in my own teaching and found that a lot of new things can be done, that we have to evaluate our own research through subjects. This is what I was feeling.
Well, you're right. I think all of us would agree. And here the universities have an autonomy. They can develop their own system and evaluate their research. And I know that some of the universities, they are even rewarding good research.
Thank you. This was just
yeah,
a concern
yes.
for, because all are vice chancellors.
Yes.
And just one thing to add, I just would like to request all the VCs be smiling. I find everybody is very serious. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. The next is from Professor J. Mahinder Reddy, former VC of ICFI. He's from the same university where we are right now. Some universities have several centers of excellence, are working on SDGs. How can our universities collaborate with PSA Office for mutual benefit? Please explain. So, Dr. Kulshresh.
Sure. Okay. So as I said, whatever we do, we focus on demand driven. And definitely all the SDGs are very much in demand because sustainability nowadays is a buzzword. And everybody is looking to collaborate for some kind of SDGs with universities or academic institutions. So you can put up your proposals on SDG section, which I have shown under a Center of Excellence category, because there is a category where you can just go as a supplier side, fill the template. There is a template also. And whenever we will get any such kind of demand from any industries who are focusing on this, we will provide that proposal to them. And apart from that, you will keep on getting different kind of opportunities on the platform who, from the industry directly, who are looking for setting up of Center of Excellence, and you can apply there also. We, as I said, last year we had already set up 15 Center of Excellence in different research institutes, all funded by industries. We only put government, there is a governing body for each of the Center of Excellence, and we just have a representation of a relevant government ministry, because it's very important to have a relevant ministries on board with the Center of Excellence. So we can also, if you already have a Center of Excellence, you can, as I said, you just mention it and you fill the form on Manthan, and any such requirement will come, we'll approach you, and also the industry can directly approach you from the platform also.
Madam, can I add something?
Yes.
And also working on SDG goals, because several universities are working on.
Yes. So as I said, if each of the sector which I mentioned, like sanitation, which comes under water sanitation, which is funded by, because if you see all the Center of Excellence are funded under CSR mainly by industries or foundations. And CSR majorly support, as per the Schedule 7 Clause 9 of CSR, it is majorly supporting SDGs only in research. So that's why any Center of Excellence which you will find, it is supported by SDGs. So Global Sanitation Center of Excellence, which is funded by Bill Gates and SDFC Bank, IRM Scientific, Toilet Board Coalition, and HUL. So our role is we bring more and more partners to those Center of Excellence so that the sustainability remains. Okay.
Madam, thank you.
Yeah. Madam, can I add something on this?
Please.
My question is to Professor Raj Singh. I'm Sharat Anant Murthy, Kuvempu University, Karnataka, Vice Chancellor. Sir, you talked about the project-centric activity and the praise that you won for this innovative project. But I think there's a pedagogic problem there. And the problem, as I see it, is as follows. That when you do such an activity, you certainly train students in a very innovative fashion so that they can address a problem and, different disciplines come together. But then also there's a role in a university to train the expertise that can come together to do such problems. So now your kind of project centrism does not allow for core disciplines to develop on their own, because they would need very different approaches, wouldn't they? They would need a more expertise-oriented approach for such training. And so I want your comments on that. And I had a small second question. Let me just ask that briefly. This is to my own Vice Chancellor, who's here and who came late. Sir, you very nicely put across the fact that often the backbenchers are, undiscovered. But that also, I think, perhaps you're also suggesting that education should also stretch into the vernacular medium, because, such backbenchers in hinterlands especially are not in the gaze of us often. And so what are your comments on developing pedagogy in other regional languages?
Can I briefly answer?
Ji, Professor Rao.
I'm a strong believer that when the child learns, when he's young, he or she learns very well in his or her own language. There is enough data to that. The learning depth is higher. So therefore, vernacular language-based learning is very important for any country, their own native language, Hindi, for example. But the moment I ask the question in English, the student is totally silent. There is a lot of content cannot express. So this barrier has to go. This is one more barrier in our education. I just want to say one more sentence about research funding. I think day has come now where we have to enforce collaborative research, because all low-lying fruits are gone. Individualized based research funding should be reduced. A large percentage of research funding should be given to people who come together and solve a problem. That method has to be brought in. If you give a lot of money to individuals, finally the money evaporates. You don't see any content coming out. So this kind of model has to be brought about in a manner that most people take innovative problems, big problems, come together and solve it. Coming together is a difficult problem. It's a non-trivial problem. But I think this ecosystem of funding groups of people will promote coming together. It will happen. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Rao. I think you already touched this point in your talk. Please let me finish the questions which we have already have here with us. We are running short of time, and I'll just try to conclude. I'm not repeating the questions which we have already taken. We have one question from Professor Vikas Supra from MGM University. He says that AIU can constitute to appreciate innovative research contribution. Dr. Pankaj Mittal, I would again address this to you. There's a request for instituting awards to appreciate innovative research. The AIU can take up. Okay, so this proposal can be taken up by the Governing Council, and then we'll be back with it. We have Professor Nihar Ranjan Biswas. He says he agrees with Professor Rao that we should find committed teachers and mentors who will ignite the mind to recognize the potential. He has very well said that we have to recognize the innovative minds, not only the intelligent or brilliant minds, but the innovative mind, because the country right now needs good innovators. And we have one more note from Chancellor. Strategic alliance of PSA may be by bringing industries to university campuses for R&D. I already discussed about this, that we must, and some of the universities are already doing it. So if these R&D campuses, they come in the universities, they can be of mutual benefit and have more industry-oriented research and innovation. So these were the questions which were raised by our Honorable Vice Chancellor. I must say that this session has been very vibrant with a number of questions which have come up.
Madam, I want to add something. Can I?
Yes.
Yeah. On the left, on your left.
Okay, yes, please.
Adding to what Professor Rao said, research or any particular innovation can happen only when the student or the faculty or the guide works on ground. That's one. So we have floated a scheme called Pearl Scheme, which is also already running in IIT Delhi. This scheme says, as and when the student joins the university, you can assign him a faculty member or 4 or 5 of them to one faculty member, and he will be trained only for research what that faculty is doing at that point of time. Now, for a year, he's trained. Now, he also at the same time knows what are the other faculties working on. So if his interests are with other faculty, basics are done in the first year, he can actually start working from the second year till the fourth year or any number of years that he is in the university. Really, peer-assisted research and learning is what Pearl scheme is all about. And they continue doing something on the research part while they are graduating or post-graduating.
Okay,
Now,
thank you
that
very
is
much.
that is
Thank you.
the
Thank you very
suggestion.
much for your suggestion. I think the other universities will also take up. With this, we end the question and our answers session also. And I would just like to conclude the session by first of all conveying my thanks to our esteemed speakers here, Professor B.J. Rao, who is the esteemed Vice Chancellor of Central University of Hyderabad, Professor Raj Singh, the Vice Chancellor of Jain University, and Mr. Rahul Kulshresh from the Office of the PSA to the Government of India, who spoke very well on the different aspects of research and innovation. And I also thank Dr. Shipra Datta for telling us about research intelligence and how we can associate with Elsevier. We have discussed a lot with these presentations which have been made here and also through the question and answers. And I would just like to conclude that if we have to nurture research and innovation ecosystem with all the suggestions which have come up, I think we must have an investment in research infrastructure that is public and private collaboration. Also, we can go ahead. We must strengthen academic and research institutions to promote higher quality of research. We must foster industry-academia collaboration, which we have already discussed, helping startups and entrepreneurs so we can have better innovative ideas, to promote an innovative culture or to have an ecosystem. That is really very important. All of us should try that in our universities, we develop such an ecosystem to promote innovation. And of course, we can have international collaborations. And the universities are doing this because right now we do not have to stand only in our country, but we have to make an international recognition, because as is our motto, that we have to become Vishwa Gurus. And our target, as per the theme of the conference, is that Bharat in the year 2047. So I think research has to play a very important role in resilience and competitiveness and in international recognition. But with all our efforts, I'm sure that we are going to achieve that. We talked a lot about different avenues of research, but I must add on one very great aspect of research where we are proceeding right now, that is AI, or artificial intelligence. We talked about artificial intelligence in research, and we also talked about the quality of teachers. Let us try to merge them and what we are doing here in Bharat. I will just give you two examples. The first one is that due to this AI-based research, we have made in the first AI teacher in Kerala has been launched. And this teacher, who is known as Iris, it was an outcome of the ATL project. And this teacher can teach in all subjects and is fluent in 3 languages. So we have made a teacher who is able to understand these languages and also to teach them. And the other one is the Anushka robot. The full form of Anushka is Artificial Network Unit for Smart Human Knowledge Assistance. And it can work up to 4 hours after charging. And this robot, it also has a heartbeat. So it's almost human. It understands 21 languages, and it can perform 80 movements of hands and eyes. You know, a teacher is very expressive with his or her hands and eyes, which are more expressive. And this AI teacher is also able to do that. And it is 80 types of movements. This is based on IoT, that is Internet of Things, home automation, and self-calling. So it can, if you introduce yourself, this teacher can also shake hands. It can also forecast the weather. If you ask about political people, even about our Prime Minister, this teacher can tell about him also. So I think we are moving in the right direction. And efforts like these, which have been made by AIU, with having a full session on nurturing research and innovation ecosystem, I compliment the AIU and also the ICFI for organizing this very special session. And it is always said that for research, we have like some of our vice chancellors also pointed out, that we have to learn and we have to relearn and we have to relearn. Only then we can achieve good results in research. So, and it is true that we have to reform, we have to perform, and we have to transform. Many of us have crossed that stage of doing research ourselves, but we realize the pains of the researcher who does research, does not get good results, and then he or she is discouraged. But I must say that good research always faces a lot of problems. You cannot achieve good results without problems. Every time you face a problems, but problems are a part of life, and facing them is an art of life. So let us learn this art of life, and we as vice chancellors promote an excellent ecosystem of research and innovation, and I'm sure we'll be able to achieve the target which we aspire for. Thank you very much. I once again thank AIU and ICFI for giving me this opportunity to chair this very vibrant session. Thank you very much.
With this, we come to an end of technical session 2. There are a few announcements to make today. The delegates who are yet to receive their kits and ICFI memento, they are kept at the counter, which is outside the entry gate. The second announcement is there is a Mehendi counter near the breakfast area arranged for the delegates and their family, which will be happening from 2 to 6. Kindly enjoy it.
Now, we would request Professor J. Mahendra Reddy sir, former Vice Chancellor IFHE and Distinguished Advisor ICFI Society, to please come forward to felicitate our distinguished guests. Please, sir. So, sir will be felicitating Professor Nilima Gupta, ma'am. Mr. Rahul Kulashrestha, sir. Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to request Dr. Alicia Ghatpo, VC, ICFI University, Meghalaya, to please come forward to felicitate Dr. Shubhra Datta and Dr. Raj Singh. Ma'am. Ma'am will be felicitating Dr. Shubhra Datta. Thank you, ma'am. Dr. Raj Singh, sir. Thank you, Alicia, ma'am. So on behalf of AIU and IFHE, we would like to thank the chairperson of this session, Professor Nilima Gupta, and to all the distinguished speakers, Professor B.J. Rao, Dr. Raj Singh, Mr. Kulashrestha, and Dr. Shubhra Datta. On behalf of AIU, we would now request Dr. Pankaj Mittal, ma'am, Secretary General AIU, to please come forward and felicitate our distinguished speaker and the chair, Professor Nilima Gupta, ma'am. Pankaj Mittal, ma'am. Ma'am, we will be felicitating first with Professor B.J. Rao, sir.
Gentlemen in the mix.
Dr. Raj Singh. Mr. Rahul Kuleshrestha, Dr. Subhra Datta, Professor Nilima Gupta, ma'am. Thank you so much, Pankaj, ma'am.
We shall this now for the tea break and assemble back here for the technical session 3. The tea is arranged at the Grand Hall. The session theme of technical session 3 is digital transformation for higher education.